What's up, everybody? Thanks so much for joining us again for this live podcast from Broke to Millions, where we share the real estate secrets of life, money, and real estate. This podcast is for the person who wants to elevate their life, money, and real estate game, a real life monopoly. Whether you're sophisticated, whether you're active or passive, accredited or non-accredited, I will share all my real estate experiences so you may share my ups and my downs. So whatever you need assistance with, you can turn it all the way around. Look, because here at Nassau, we're the #1 real estate experts with real solutions. But before I get started, I have to tell you about our sponsor. And our sponsor is Bird 360. Hey, man, the Bird 360 conference coming September 13th through the 16th in Cincinnati, Ohio, man. Don't you miss it, man. One of the biggest conferences ever. We'll show you how to profit from apartments, hotels, developments, and even single family houses. We'll show you all the different techniques, the no money down techniques, so you can acquire multiple properties with no money out of pocket. We'll even show you how to raise millions of dollars in private capital so you can buy all the properties you want, baby. But look, man, let's give it up for my man, Walt Piper. What's up, bro? I guess you didn't want your mic back, huh? Okay, all right. And all the way from the Philippines, man, the Asian persuasion, Wendell the Gooseman.
By way of Avondale.
What up with it, brother?
Good. So today, Mike.
Yeah, just turn it up. I love this guy. Isn't he the best?
Yeah. So today, it's very exciting. We have, the topic that actually a lot of real estate investors get stumped by this.
What they get stumped by?
They can't find good deals.
Ooh.
So today we are going to show you guys more than 10 techniques.
10 techniques.
Yep, on how to find real estate deals in any market, whether the market's going up or going down or moving sideways, right?
Yep.
Whether the economy is good or bad, or whether the interest rate is 3% or 8%, right? It doesn't matter. We will show you how to find good deals, in fact, off-market deals in any market, right? So then we will interview John Glankler.
My man, John, is he going to be here today or what?
He will be on Zoom, I think.
Yeah.
So, but
such a lame.
But
John, you're lame, man. Why don't you come down here and hang out with us, bro?
So, guys, a lot of you are always like, hey, how can I raise money? How can I structure the deal? What are the legalities of doing this? Well, John Glankler is Mike's SEC/syndication attorney. So the last thing you want to do, guys, is to make mistakes in raising capital.
I thought he was just my attorney. Damn. Shit, you made him. He's like big time.
And you get in trouble with the SEC. You can literally go to jail or get fined like $50,000, $100,000. So today, we will interview him so you guys can know, like, how can I do this legally?
Yeah,
right?
John, I'm not meant for jail, baby.
Yeah,
I ain't meant for jail, baby.
Mike will not do well in jail. So, and I'm sure a lot of you guys won't do well in jail either, right? So, and then
what do you think, man? I'm thugged out. I can handle this. Thug dizzle.
Yeah,
I can get down in jail, man. 3 hots in the cot. I'm getting that food.
This conversation just totally went south.
All right. So
I think I need my microphone back.
Okay. And then thirdly, we will answer all your questions, guys, whether it's about how to find deals or how to raise money, whatever questions that you guys have, we'll answer them. And stay until the very end because Mike will share with you how real estate millionaires think. Because if you don't have the right mindset, you can learn all these techniques. You can talk to real estate attorneys about how to raise private capital, syndication, the works, right? You can learn for 1 whole year, attend this live podcast. But if your mindset is not right, nothing will happen. Nothing will happen, right? So stay until the very end, guys, so that you can hear from Mike himself, like how he thinks, right? So that the more you you cling to Mike and think how he thinks, then the higher the chances that you will become a real estate deca millionaire like Mike, right?
Yeah, man.
So with that, guys, so
we ready to go, man?
yep, stay until the very end as well, because you will choose one lucky attendee to win this from Broke to Millions t-shirt.
Oh, there you go, man.
All right. So with that, let's jump right in.
Hey, man. So look at all of you guys, man. You've seen these interest rates, you've seen inflation. Look, don't panic. Life is good, but you're going to have to adjust how you buy. Your strategies are going to be a little different. All right. You still can purchase, but if you plan on utilizing debt, you got to make sure you budget for that interest rate. That's it. That's it. And so guess what? Prices are going to have to adjust. So don't panic. Listen, I've bought in every cycle. I bought in the last Great Recession. I bought before the Great Recession. I bought through COVID, right? I'm buying now. You just have to change your strategy. Man, when their interest rates were high, man, guess what? I was just buying in cash from private. And listen, I was paying 15% interest.
Wow. But the good thing though, when you do that, right, prices are going to be very cheap or cheaper, right?
Yeah.
So it's like there's a advantage in actually buying when interest rates are high. So again,
life is easy, man. At least keep telling yourself that. All right, what we got?
All right, how to find deals.
All right, let's get it, man. Dun 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 dun. I don't know if that. No, we needed some music, man, not a drum roll.
It's fantastic.
Oh, how to find off-market deals is fantastic. Hey guys, if you guys on Instagram and on Facebook, hey man, send your hearts, your love, your shout outs on Zoom, send it to us. Tell us where you're from, where you're looking at, what you're trying to learn. But today we're going to talk about how to find off-market deals, especially in a market like this. And also, like we talked about again, man, those guys look great. Holy, wow.
And only 19 early bird tickets left, guys.
I don't even know if there's that many left now.
So if you want to save $400, right, definitely get it now. Burr360.com.
The Burr360. We got North Virginia in the building. And we got Colorado here from Mitchell. I'm North Carolina, East North Kakalaka, Mike Dawson, sunny San Diego, Fort Wayne, Luda, New York, Brooklyn, Greenville. We got them all. Tennessee in the building. Hey guys, can you comment? I don't know. Pittsburgh.
The Orlando market.
Orlando. Maybe. Okay. Yeah. We'll talk about all of it. Charleston, South. Oh, you enjoying Charleston right now. Illinois in the building. Everybody's everywhere, man. Look, if you want to get this $1 million bag, let me see you type in the chat, yes or yes. All right. If you're on Instagram, you want to get the $1 million bag, yes or yes. Because we want this money and we're going to learn how to do it. And now I don't want you stopping there. We're going to do this long-lasting legacy wealth. We're not doing for the instantaneous gratification. Yes or yes, because that's the only answer.
Yeah. All right, let's do it.
All right, let's go, man. All right, where we at? Okay. And get my mic. In case you don't know me, I've been investing since 1999. Lost it all. Yep. Am I there?
I don't know what happened.
Yeah, you don't know? All right, that come loose. Give me your mic. That's what happens when you got a couple mics. Been investing since 1999, lost it all in 2002, but recovered from that and started my investment career. Now we own over 1,500 units, over 40 house industrial warehouses. We got 4 hotels, and we're developing in Sarasota, prime Sarasota. And check this out. Not saying this to brag, but wouldn't you want to be a part of this? This month, just from 2 of my hotels, I'm distributing over 200,000 in investor distributions.
Nice.
Just 2 hotels.
Nice.
To the investors. Wouldn't you want to be a part of that cash flow?
Yep.
Yes, I want more months like this, bro. I actually I'm sure we got about 2 more months coming like this where we're gonna bring in that kind of cash flow, man. So boom, yes, thank you with the boom, absolutely. I don't know why we echoing. He's working it out. What about this one?
Can you hear us?
Yeah, there we go. I'm using this one. Bam. So yeah, man, we're recovering. So look, man, but you got to put the work in. Eat, sleep, and dream this. That's absolutely right, Chris. All right, let's go on to the next one, Walt. So single family, where can you find single family in a market like this? Well, look, guys, in a market like this, man, I think you guys are going to find more. The market is slowing down and there's going to be opportunity. Now, the crazy thing is you got to remember, some of this is psychologically or psychologically or psychology.
Psychological.
Thank you. That's what I'm looking for. It's psychological. Because, dude, we were just at 6.5%.
Yeah, in fact, we were like 3%.
We were at 3, but before we got to 3 and 2, we were at 6.
That's true.
We're at 7.
Mm-hmm.
So don't like blow your spot up now.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
don't complain that the interest rate is too high when it's only 6%.
Yeah, hey.
It's like that's funny.
I mean, we was at 8. I remember when it dropped to 6, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is amazing."
Yep,
I never thought I would have get to 3.
that's
or 2.
crazy. Yeah, that's crazy.
I wish I would have got some of that too. Whatever. But where can you find deals? Wholesalers. Most of my deals, when I first started, I got a lot of my deals from wholesalers.
Mm.
You know, I wasn't that guy that did all that kind of marketing and went out and did the kind of cold calling. That wasn't my bag. That was one of the way I did do deals. But the wholesalers, man, to this day, like Julius, Kevin McGraw, a lot of these guys, all they did was wholesale, and they did all that groundwork and market work. And you can just look at it like an investor. Oh, the cord. That's what it is. The cord is bad. Okay. And they would bring these deals to us, and I would pay a fee. Yeah. Now, look, one of the things about when you deal with wholesalers, you can't be upset or envious, right? Look, if it works for you, go for it. Look, I had somebody make about 100, 200 grand off of me. Wholesale. I remember it. And I was like, mother sucker, really? You're going to make 200? But I was making 600.
Yeah. So it works out. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Don't worry about what they make it. As long as it works for you. But literally, I've seen people literally leave the closing table because their counterpart was making 10, 20 grand more.
That's crazy.
Not more than them. They was just making 20. How dare you make money off this deal? Like, I'm the only one. It's like taking your football. You know, you had that little friend on your street that he had the only basketball on the street. And he was like, I'm going home. Yeah, he takes the ball and runs. So then also you can get attorneys. Like I have a lot of attorneys call me, especially title companies. I have title companies reaching out to me all the time. So you can reach out to title companies that want to do deals. And now at the time that rates are changing and people are buying these deals based on cash flow, I think you're going to have a lot of title companies that are going to be literally sitting at the table hearing crickets.
Yeah. And then Mitch, what's his last name?
Painter?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He does probate, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He kills it in probate. That's his entire lead. I don't even know if he does anything else.
Really? Probate. That's the only thing he does. And then I know Vina Jones-Cuff has a student, and all she does is go to eviction court and pass out her business cards to landlords going to eviction.
That's upset and crying like, I don't want to do this.
So guys, if you're not finding deals, you're just lazy. Basically, because you can just do all of these things and then find deals. Literally.
Now, don't get me wrong. It's tough. I'm not going to say it's easy.
Yeah, it requires work.
Because it's consistency. The key word is consistency. You got to get in a routine and doing these things all the time. One day you may deal with wholesalers. The next day you're calling attorneys. Next day you're dealing with title companies. Next day, bandit signs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the important thing is to have multiple ways to find deals, like having multiple lead pipelines.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I never did bandit signs, but my buddy Juris, he did them. Yeah. Paul Glenn does them. Oh, Kenya did.
I did it.
Yeah. I did it, and I hung them things. I was like, man, I ain't dealing with this. I'm so lazy. I'm lazy though. I was like, what? I gotta drive around and put these signs in the ground.
But your smart is like, okay, Paul, just do the work. I'll just buy it from
you.
you.
I was like, man, you drive around. I ain't, because Paul ain't gonna mark up too much on that anyway. So direct mail, you did really good with that. I did not. Literally, you just send your cards. But now when you do send the cards, you need to be bright. They need to be of color.
Yeah.
Something that connects them or makes them open it up.
Yeah, I have my postcards. I call it postcards to code violations in bright yellow or almost neon yellow. It's like you can't miss this. It's that important. You can't miss it. You can make it like fluorescent orange, right?
Yeah.
So but yeah, it takes money, it takes time for direct mail to work, and you need the right leads. You need the right list.
Then there's cold call and go section 8. Not a fan of that. Now, things that I am kind of fan, networking online. Wholesalers was my bag. A little bit of attorney, so I would get some probate deals from there. And networking online. Bigger Pockets, Facebook group, Burr, Invest, Wholesalers, and RIA.
Yeah.
I met a lot of people through RIA that's done a couple of deals with me or brought me deals. And so there's multiple ways that you can go get it. This is just some of them. So single family homes, but I know some of you in this group are ready to go bigger than single family homes. Is that right? What are you guys looking at? Do you still want to do single family homes? Do you want to get apartments, or are you looking to get a hotel? Some of you like mobile homes. Some of you like glamping. Tell me what you guys like on here. Mobile, but all of these are different ways to make money. We got Zachary, he's liking apartments. Everybody's apartments, multi. Oh, apparently because we are the apartment place. All right. No, but somebody would like tiny homes. Christine likes tiny homes. Yes, Kristen, I want to with you as well. Well, I probably should have cleared that up. Yeah.
What do you need? Okay.
Who do tiny homes or buildings together? Some are looking at single families. I'm starting with single families, hope to get the multi-unit. Mike Dawson, you can do it all. Container homes. Now, me and Christine like container homes. I think that's going to help cut costs with all this inflation and reduce costs to build tiny homes and container homes. I mean, you can blow that out. You get you 10 of those and do an Airbnb. That's like an apartment complex.
That's true. And you save on wood too, right?
Yeah, you're saving on wood. And they're prefab. So it's already done. So cool. You Airbnb a camper trailer. That's pretty sweet. Shoot, maybe I need an Airbnb in my bathroom.
Or you can tell Jerry's to Airbnb his boat.
Oh, well, that's part. I already got that covered. I'm taking his lake house next weekend.
Okay. All right.
Let's go to the next one. For all you in multi-units, here's the deal. Multi-hundred ways. We have 3 hotels in NOLA. Man, baller. Multi-unit apartments. Look, as I always say, LoopNet. And one that's pretty big out here now, where you can find it. Now, look, I always talk about how I hate LoopNet. And it's not that I really, it took a while, as I talked about earlier, it's all about psychology, right? It's not that I hate LoopNet. I'm upset internally that I can't always find deals on LoopNet.
Yeah.
Right. I only find one every blue moon.
Most of the deals are junk. However,
yes,
you found your first deal on LoopNet, didn't you?
Yeah, I found some of my first deals on LoopNet. I probably found 3 or 4 good deals on LoopNet.
Yeah.
Or they led me to a broker that sent me more deals.
Exactly. That's how.
So, for example, I met Steve Terman on LoopNet. I bought this 20 unit off of him and flipped it. But then Steve began to start sending me deals on the regular.
That are not on LoopNet.
So I didn't need LoopNet no more.
Right.
Then there was hang on, Mike. And then there was
there you go.
What is it? What was it? LoopNet. Oh, the other thing is you start watching 10X. 10x is like, now you still got to kind of know your market. And I still think people, because you got so many people bidding across the globe,
Right.
It can be a little expensive. When I say expensive, because they want you to put a hefty down payment or amount down just to even bid. So,
and usually there's proof of funds required.
Sometimes. So the bottom line is you just gotta be serious and ready to go. All right. It's not that, I mean, if you really, really ready to play, but they want that money before you start bidding. We gotta get these mics together. What happened?
I don't know why. It was working just fine.
Yeah.
All right.
Testing. There we go. There we go.
All right. Well, while you're doing that.
You go ahead and talk while you fix my mic.
All right, guys. So LoopNet,
Yeah.
is a good way to find deals. And really what I've used it, Mike, is I found the broker that brought me my first deal on LoopNet. So
Really?
yeah.
Okay.
So
Commercial real estate brokers, which I shared today. When I met some of the real estate brokers, they were helping me out and they send me deals. Matter of fact, Tim Vest, his last set of deals, and that's probably about 100+ units, all been through property managers.
right.
Now, well, we'll get into that, but even in my hotels, I don't think I bought any of my deals on my own. All my hotel deals came through my operator, my property manager.
Right.
So, you just got to connect, because as we always say, your net worth is your network, or your network is your net worth. Which one? Same one, same thing, same something. Also, again, wholesalers, you can find multi-units. Matter of fact, my 30 unit, I think we'll share later on. I did a 30 unit and that came from a wholesaler. I paid him 20. He only wanted $5,000. I said, man, if you get me this deal, I'll pay you 20 grand.
So you paid him more than what he was asking.
I paid him more than what he asked for.
Because he did negotiate the price lower.
I ended up getting that deal for 400,000. So you add his money in, that's 420. Put 700 in it. No.
I think it's like 470 total.
No, man, I'm all in 18. But here's the thing, it's worth 4 million now.
Yeah.
Was that worth paying an extra 20,000? If you could get it to you can net 2 million, would you pay an extra 20,000 to wholesale? Would you pay a wholesaler more? Would you tip them? Would you tip? You'll tip your waiter. Will you tip your wholesaler? Oh, yeah. Without a thought. All right. Listen. So sometimes you gotta just take care of your folks, man. Now, one person I don't want to take care of, and I hope he's not listening, but we flew down and Christine helped us do the underwriting. Hey, everybody, give her a round of applause for Christine and her crew. Yeah, you ready? Come on. Yeah, give her a round of applause for Christine, man. We sent her this high-level, difficult spreadsheet, and her crew just dissected it like a mad scientist and put it together. And from that, we are able to make a comparable decision. Now, she is a student of both of ours. She's a student of Nate and ours, the Burr, and what's Nate's class called? The Academy, Burr Academy. And she's a part of our Big Deal Maker a group as well. Yep. And she knocked it out. And from there, I was able to look, I was in that meeting like brilliant. I read some of the stuff. I'm gonna tell you how good they were. They sent me their summary over and I was like, okay, I got it. And I went into the meeting. So this is what's going on. The expenses are this high. They need to bring it down. The ratio is off. They got a large CapEx. They did too much money in balconies, blah, 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 blah. They broke all that down.
Nice.
All I had to do was read the paper. I felt like a news anchor with what do you call the things that comes on?
News anchor.
Teleprompter. Yeah. Christine was my teleprompter, man.
Nice.
They were balling on it. But I don't want to tip Matt. Matt put me on this private plane the other day, and it was the real deal. It was the private jet.
Matt Anderson?
No. Matt.
Another Matt.
Matt Stevens, who I do some hotels with. He was like, "Yo, man, because he's got a twin engine and then he's got another plane. And I'll take the twin engine. That's like 600 an hour. This jet probably like 2,500, 1,500, 2,500 an hour. And it was smoking, dude, from Cincinnati, Mississippi in 1 hour.
Nice.
We were doing like 500 miles an hour or something. I was like, that's nice. So, but yeah. So now we didn't get the deal. So I kind of got to chip in on that.
Cost of doing business, Mike.
Yeah, no, man.
Cost of doing business.
Sometimes you win, man. But that would have been the lick, man. That was a student housing deal that we looked at. It was in foreclosure. The guy didn't put enough CapEx in.
Oh, that's the 300 units.
Yeah, it was in.
It's not a deal.
It was a sweet deal. An Ole Miss. I mean, even at 30 is probably a nice deal, but the way the market's going, I mean, quite frankly, it's probably a $50 million apartment building. Realistically, probably is worth 40. It needs at least, you're going to be at least $1.5 million in. They pay 32 million. They're going to make money. We stopped at 22. We only wanted to be all in for 24, 26. And they just kept bidding that thing up. So
yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's an auction.
Yeah.
Right.
So so mortgage brokers, lenders, lenders send you deals as well. Matter of fact, I got a few of our deals we got sent to us by our lender. Our lender funded our deal. Oh, yeah, absolutely no money. Well, we had to bring some money, but literally 138 units. They was like, we'll finance the whole thing.
Nice.
Financed the whole thing and they sent it over to us.
Yeah. I found I wholesaled a 20-unit apartment building and I found my buyer through a mortgage broker.
Really?
So yeah. So on the flip side, right? He, being the apartment buyer, found his deal through a mortgage broker because the mortgage broker referred me to him, So yeah.
Oh, wow. You can cold call property owners. You know what? Like, what's the system when you CoStar? Man, if you guys get CoStar or something similar like that, they have all the data on these different properties. Literally, they have the phone number, address, the baby's mama and daddy's name and heritage, all in this CoStar report, man. And from that, you can contact the seller. And look, most sellers don't even know they want to sell until you make an offer.
Yeah, until you bring up the idea that, hey, interest rates rising, are you retiring?
Yeah.
You never know.
Some people said they've been calling for rents that need updating this week. Look, man, quit doing all that work. You ain't in the what was that, in the 90s? Yeah, 2000, early 2000. That's what I did. I was calling all around to figure out what the rents were. Dude, you could go to Rent-A-Meter.
Yeah.
Get you something on Rent-A-Meter and it'll show you all the different rents. Quit doing everything is at your fingertips, man. It ain't like you back in the day when your mom and daddy had them big old encyclopedias, right? And they all in the wall. You can on your fingertips, brother. All right. Another great place is networking on Facebook, like Apartment Investing Secrets. Hey, man, you can learn a lot about Apartment Investing Secrets. If you haven't been a part of our Facebook group, Apartment Investing Secrets, join now.
Yeah, we have 24,000 members now.
24 big ones. If they all gave me $1 1 month.
Yeah, that would be good.
Then I could share back with them, and then I would give it back.
Right.
I would give it back in information. I'll give you $1 a day of information.
But guys, think about that, right? So when Mike and I started investing in real estate, right? To network with people to find deals, you have to go to RIA every week or every other week or whenever, every month, right? And then sometimes we meet good people, sometimes we don't. Sometimes those people will refer us deals, sometimes we don't, right? But with Apartment Investing Secrets, you have 24,000 members to network with. Think about that.
Stop whatever you do. Amy Brown want my Venmo. Send it. Okay. Amy Brown, here's my Venmo.
Yeah.
I ain't turning nothing down but my collar. All right, Gabriel, will you send Gabriel the name of the Facebook group, Apartment Investing Secrets, again?
I will type it here for everyone.
All right. So networking at multifamily conferences, and look, coming to the Burr 360 is where that's not my Venmo. What are you doing? Just send the Facebook group.
I did.
Who's typing in my at Mike? What are you doing?
That's what I'm doing.
What are you Oh, you know my Venmo?
Yeah.
I was just playing, man.
It's a joke. It's a joke.
You don't have to send. Well, you can give it to her. She don't have to send anything, man. All right.
That's funny.
You just forward it to me. It's fine.
What needs your donations, guys?
I got windows to pay.
He do got some windows. Them windows expensive, man.
They carpet now.
Pat. Hey, Pat.
That's funny.
Let's go to the next one, man. What else? Where else can we find this?
Oh, there's an example of a deal.
Okay, we're speed it up. Is that what you're telling me? Okay.
Yep.
What time is it?
We got John.
Oh, John, he's got to go.
12:32.
Okay. All right, we good. John ain't going nowhere. As long as he keeping me out of jail, he ain't going nowhere. Hey, here's the deal. Brought to me by wholesale. This is the deal. I was talking about the wholesaler, man. 30-unit townhome, price $450. He got that down to me for $400. I paid him $20,000 in exchange of renegotiating. We put 1.1 in renovation. Like I said, I said $4 million. It's worth $4.7 million.
Mm-hmm.
$4.7 million by investing in a 30,000. A 30 unit, and it was in the area. It was in the gap as well.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the things, sometimes you got to have a vision. I remember, this reminds me, I remember when I used to go to these new houses, these new construction, and you'll see all this wood framing. And when I first went in there, I was like, what is this? And everybody, the guys would say like, hey, can't you see it? I was like, hell no, all I see is wood. Mm-hmm. It's like, no, brother, here's the bathroom. Here's where windows go. Here's the doors. Here's the plumbing. Here's where the towel go. Here's the attic space. And after a while, when I started walking through these rooms, I began to have the vision.
Mm.
And so sometimes the deal is right in your face, but you don't have the vision.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So I encourage you, man, to sometimes it's not always about the numbers, right?
Yeah.
The vision is everything.
So what you're saying, Mike, is sometimes you can't. So for people who are complaining they can't find deals, maybe it's not so much finding deals, but making it into a deal, by envisioning what it can be.
Yeah.
And then like for example, like what I tell people who struggle with finding single family homes to invest in, and they say, oh, there's so much competition, right? Well, I mean, because they are looking for the same houses that all other investors look for, right? 3 bedrooms, 2 baths near schools, right? Everybody looks for that, including people who want, including homeowner occupants, right? But what if you look for a 2-bedroom house that you can convert one of the space, into an additional bedroom, right? And then you can convert, like you can add a bathroom or whatever. So now you're not competing with all these people, right? So you have less competition, and therefore you can get a deal because you make it happen, right? So that's what you're basically teaching us, Mike.
Absolutely.
Don't just do what everybody else does, right? But think of how can you make it into a deal. So
yeah, I mean, there's multiple. I mean, I'm guilty of that, man. There's been quite a few deals that I was like, man, I'm passing on that. And Nate was like, yo, you didn't look at it right. Why don't we look at the numbers? So, so those are some of the things, man. So sometimes you need to get second eyes on it. It's always good to have somebody else look at it and figure out why these can be a great deal. All right, Walt, where you going? Where you going to the next one? Instagram. Is that a yes or yes? Are you finding deals out there? Are you struggling to find deals out there? What about YouTube? Are you having hard times finding deals? Look, get another set of eyes, man. Let's get this vision together, man. They say if you write the vision out plainly, I don't know what they say after that. Feel like a Tyler Perry music. You remember the scripture? Jesus wept, and then he cried, And then he woke up the next morning, rebuilt.
Okay.
No,
You can make
okay.
it happen. You can make it a
Yeah,
reality.
that's all right.
So
Tim Vest, man, found a 31, like I said earlier, 31 unit. He's found over 100 plus units through his property management. Look, go to NassauInvest.com/waitlist, NassauInvest.com with an S /waitlist, and join our mastermind class, man, where you will learn so much more, where to find the deals, how to do the deals, how to analyze the deals at NassauInvest.com /waitlist. Let's go on to the next one.
and guys, the mastermind is about implementation and collaboration. So
Absolutely.
yeah, it's not theory. It is like exactly what Mike does. And if you want to own an apartment building or a hotel in the next 12 months and you're really serious, then join the mastermind.
Look, if you want theory and you want to comprehend, hey, I'm going to tell you where to go. CCIM.org. Certified Commercial Investment Member. I took that course.
Mm-hmm.
I went from speaking English to Spanglish, right?
To speaking
To billion. No, I went from billionaire.
apartment.
Yeah,
numbers.
I went from single family education to talking in square foot and absorption rates and cap rates.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll pay 10 grand, 12 grand. They'll talk about communication, but they won't help you with execution.
Mm-hmm.
They won't put you in a network.
Yep. But
They won't tell you why you shouldn't do the deal and why you shouldn't. They're only going to show you based on formula. I'm going to show you based on formula because look, I can show you multiple deals where you can make millions of dollars. That's great. All right. And some of us take deals when we first start because we're just hungry. Right. And I get it. We got to get there. But then your status starts to change. Like you guys, listen, I know you're like, no way, not me. But some of you guys, as you get into your deals, you're going to be like, I can make $1 million off this deal. Guess what? I passed. Who would pass if you could make $1 million off a deal? Would you pass on a deal? Anybody on here on Instagram, YouTube, Burr, would you pass if you can net $1 million on a deal? Who would pass on a deal? All right. Only got one. Mitchell was like, not me. I ain't passing. Zach's not passing. Okay. Not me. Sean. Yeah. Okay. Well, look, I've passed on deals where I could net $1 million. And it was because it would have took away too much of my time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you can't do anything else.
Yeah, I've done that before. Now, not necessarily for well, yeah, I've turned down $1 million deals because I know for that year or 2 or 3, I'm grinding.
It will be the only deal for the next 3-5 years.
See, one of the things is I want you to start thinking. Now, when you're starting off, hey, man, you might have to go for that.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
There's different situations when you starting off. But wealthy people think in financial freedom of time, right?
And opportunity cost.
Opportunity cost, right? So we do deals, we build wealth so we can have more freedom. We don't do deals that what do you call it? And captures us, right? Enslaves us. We don't want that. And so me personally, like, man, I see a deal and I'm like, wait a minute, if I do this deal, that means I'm not going to get to see my family. I'm not traveling. I'm not coaching. I can't do my podcast. I can't do this. I can't do that. Right. All of that comes in consideration after I analyze the deal. The deal doesn't stop just on the paper.
Yeah. It's not just about the numbers, guys.
Right. And so once I figure that out, that's why I'm patient. And so because I've been patient, it's the give and take, right? You sit too long, you get nothing. But I sat and waited, and guess what? I passed on the one deal. I could have made $1 million, worked 3 or 4 hard, real hard with no time. I ended up doing 2 or 3 deals that netted me $1.5 million on just my portion.
Nice.
Right? All because I was patient and waited.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying not to turn down that $1 million deal. because when you first started, you got to grind, baby. Hey, when I first started, I was doing D and F neighborhoods. So if you would have asked me when I was doing D and F neighborhoods, I would not have turned that $1 million deal down. All right. So yeah.
Hotels.
I wish you guys would get a new picture because this hotel room is terrible.
That's what we want, Mike. ugly hotels and turn them into,
Yeah,
Carlton Ritz.
Yeah, no, the
whatever.
commercial real estate brokers, listen, all these people involved have brought me a deal. The commercial real estate brokers brought the deal, but they brought it to my hotel operator. My hotel operator looked at it because they looking at it for two reasons. One, hey, how can I make money managing this? Two, not only can I make money, can I make my my buyer or my investor partner, however you want to call it, can I make money for him? And if they say yes, they do the deal. So they kind of got double interest in there, right? Hotel lenders, my last 3 deals or 2 deals, because one deal came from hotel lenders.
That's true.
They was like, look, man, take over this debt. We don't want to foreclose on it. Networking online, I've had numerous people bring me deals on LinkedIn.
Yeah,
and oh my goodness, meeting people at the Hunter's Hotel Conference. I mean, I did not. Now listen here, I didn't meet I met people I could work with in the future, but at the the conference, I've met my commercial construction team, which is huge. Let me tell you how huge that was. I had bids for my renovation for labor only was coming in at like $4 million. $4 million. I met people down here that's done my courtyard numerous times. The same type courtyard. They do it and they they sleep and they do it for $2.2 million. That's the power of networking, the power of going to conferences, power of talking to people. All right. Hey, not only is your network your net worth, your network will help save your net worth.
That's true.
All right, let's go on to the next one.
That's a good one, Mike.
Yeah. Like I said, I got 3 hotels recently through lender. All these hotels, minimum down. Like for example, here's the deal.
Yeah, basically
these hotels combined. Let's see, the home at minimum is a $10 million hotel, but it's worth 12. I'm just gonna do easy number. That's 12. This Standard Bridge will be worth 20 million. All right, so that's 32. And then this Hampton is worth 10.
That's 42 million.
I got all of those. Let's see. 8,
you got 8 plus
8, 18,
16.
26.
Wait, you got the Hampton for 10 million?
Hampton, no, so the Hampton and Staybridge was basically 14 million, and then we brought 4 million cash. So that's 18 plus 8, that's 26.
26, right.
And how much is this worth?
42.
Damn.
Let's see them all, Mike.
Damn. I think you're forgetting what I got.
And guys, Mike got these hotels for basically no money down through mortgage assumptions, and usually the assumption fee is 1%.
Because all I brought was money to bring it current. I didn't have any down payment. Right. I'm still using the no money down techniques. If I would have brought cash to the table on 26 million. 26 million is 30%.
30% at least.
So that's 2.5, 5, 7.5 million.
Yeah. Yep.
I brought like 4, 5 million total.
Yeah, but that's because
but that was for reserves and everything. I didn't even
mortgage current.
I didn't bring any down payment money. I brought renovation money. I brought carrying. So technically, if I would have did this deal, right, standard. Not only would I had to bring 7.5 million, then I had to bring another 4 million. So I had to bring 11 million to the table.
Or 12, yeah.
No, 12. And all we brought was 5.
Yep. So hotel lenders, guys.
Man.
All right, next.
Who wants to do hotels? Anybody here want to do hotels? Instagram, you want to do hotels? I want to do hotels, man. Hey, if you will see the cash flow and the distribution we did this month, everybody gonna want to do hotels. I'm telling you that now. I want another. Hey, I was like, I want a hotel. They was like, Mike, you own it. I want a new one.
Yep. So guys, again, so like what I like about big deals like apartments and hotels, you have more creativity in a way, right? Because you can raise capital from private investors. With houses, that's kind of more difficult because they want your investor to become part of the deal of the loan. But with apartments, you can literally have none of your own money, and you have an investor who brings in all the money, or you raise the money from private investors. Bam, right? And then you can structure things, like very creatively.
Yeah.
So
no, I mean, and listen, the market is shifting back right now because I was buying these hotels when COVID, right? So it was banana. I was like, I don't know where this market's going. I know what we believe and we project, and everything we said happened. I split the pot 50-50. Man, next hotel, man, when we buy it, man, it will probably split and it will go or GP 70-30. But now I'm starting to meet some what we got, some family offices. So I don't know, man. I mean, we may prime it up, get it all set up, pay for the fees, get it ready to go, and then take a markup and take us ownership. So
cool.
Hey, look, you want to learn how to do deals like this, apartments and hotels, raise private capital? Yes or yes? Yes or yes? Hey, go to NassauInvest.com/waitlist, NassauInvest.com /waitlist. Walt, let's go on to something different here. Are we almost done? So next week, Walt, when you want to tell them what we're doing next week?
Yeah, next week, guys, we will teach you how to buy properties with no money down. Yes, even hotels, as Mike described earlier. We will show you exactly how to do that.
What? You know, it's football time. It's almost football season.
Next slide.
Who we got John. Dang, look at John. Look at him, man. Look at John.
You're funny. How to syndicate deals the right way so that you don't go to jail, literally. So with that.
Does John really look that good?
Apparently.
Right. I look better now, man.
What's up, brother? How you doing, man?
Good. How are you doing, man?
I can't complain, man. When you got him on, Walt, you got him on the spotlight, man, so people can see the good John. Good John. You're not John the Baptist, right? You're just John.
No, sir.
Yeah, man. What's been going on, brother? What you working on, brother?
Man, killing it. Bunch of real estate deals still going through. I'll be honest. I figured, there'd be a little bit of slowdown with interest rates and stuff, but it's still plowing away. So really? Big deals, small deals. Yeah, I don't know. Property values are still high, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think people expect those to fall, or too much, you know what I mean? Yeah. And so, I think people are still finding deals out there. So, still working hard, keeping you out of jail.
Yeah, please keep me out of there. Because that ain't made for me. Hey, so everybody, John Glenker is my attorney. He handles all of our syndication and structure paperwork for majority of my deals. He will also be the speaker at Burr 360 at the conference, September 13th through the 15th. I'm so glad he joined us. He can share some information with you about the syndication process. So let's start with the basics, John. Some of these people don't even know it. What is syndication?
Yep. So basically, it's anytime you put together a real estate deal where you're bringing in money from outside investors who are going to be part of the deal, but aren't going to have probably much or very little control of the property at the end of the day, right? So let me tell you what it's not. It's not where you and a few people all put in some money or some time and effort and buy a property. That's not a syndication. It's not where you buy a property and somebody fronts you the money and puts a mortgage on the property or something like that. Syndication is when somebody else is going to give you money, and they're kind of going to be an investor, kind of like a stockholder in a publicly traded company, right? So if I should own shares of Amazon or Tesla or whatever, I don't have much control or really no control over that company, but I have an ownership. Similar thing if you're doing that for real estate projects.
Okay. So if money guys invest passively in real estate deal, even if it's just one or two of the investors, except if they're lenders, then the syndication is always required, like all the documents. So what happens if a real estate investor gets some private investors and doesn't file the right paperwork or the exemption with the SEC?
So depending on who's investing, where they live, and how much they're investing, and we're going to get into this later, whether or not they're an accredited investor, that's all going to change how much paperwork, filing, et cetera, you need. Basically, how many disclosures you have to make to these investors. If you fail to give them the right documentation to make the right filings, you're potentially in violation of SEC Securities and Exchange Commission rules. That can bring with it criminal penalties. That's fines, jail.
That's that jail we talking about.
Yeah, exactly. Preventing you from engaging in syndications again in the future, that sort of thing. So you definitely don't want to run afoul of it. And when I first explain it to new clients, you know, how syndication works, all the paperwork that's required, it's kind of overwhelming to them. But, you know, Mike, you've been through a bunch of deals with us. I think you understand pretty well the paperwork. You know, it's just another arm of the project. You know, the first time you dealt with a complicated loan,
it's literally
my
arm, and then last week it was my leg, and the other week it was my pinky toe. Damn paperwork costs 18 to 30 grand, man. Shit.
Yeah.
I ain't laughing. What you over there laughing for, man?
Well, it depends. Depends what deal it was. That's not every deal.
Yeah,
not every deal.
But Mike, paying 18,000 is better than going to jail.
Yeah, well, paying that is better than paying a $50,000 or $100,000 fine, or even facing jail time. So that is why John is one of my.
Yeah, and you're really buying extra peace of mind. You're not just protecting yourself from the SEC, but you're also making it very hard for potential investors to come back on you later on the back end and say, hey, I'm unhappy with the deal. Now, that normally doesn't happen. I mean, it's never happened to us yet. But you know how those things can be down the line. Maybe a deal's been going on for a long time. Somebody passes away. Somebody who wasn't originally part of it sort of inherits that interest, whatever. Somebody gets upset. They start poking around at the deal. You know, if you dot your I's and cross your T's, it's going to be very hard for them to take any kind of adverse action against you.
You know, what's really weird about this, you're like, man, I'm creating this PPM. I remember the first time we do it. First of all, the price got me, right? Not you, but when I, you know, that's why you got a reasonable price. But when I first started looking, people were saying like, yeah, that'll be 20,000. That'll be 30,000. I was like, yo, don't you got a template? Like, aren't you just copying from what you did on the last one? Like, I know my document ain't that much different.
Right. And that's often just the PPM, not operating agreements, other documents, right? So, yeah.
So, and then once you get over the wow factor of the cost, what was crazy, the second craziest thing I remember is reading the document, and it lists all these disclosures, and it basically says, I'm not responsible for nothing. You're investing at your own risk. Like,
and it's very risky.
Yeah, and you're investing it. Like, after reading the deal, I'll be scared to invest
because anything can happen. Like the sky can fall.
You know, so that was kind of the funny thing. Like, I mean, like, I'm spending this $20,000 document, and then now I'm scared for my investors to read it because I think they'll be scared to invest because now it just states disclose. You could lose your money. Disclose. This is risky. Disclose this.
Market can change.
Yeah, but that's the whole point of this document, to disclose
all the possible
things, right?
Yeah, exactly, right. So, you kind of look at it this way, right? So publicly traded companies that anybody can go and buy on the stock market have quarterly filings, annual filings. They're enormous. You can look them up. They're audited by independent financial companies. They're reviewed by the SEC, the stock exchanges, so on and so forth. Our deals are not vetted that way. And so the SEC requires you to give all these kind of disclaimers, information, and disclosure. Now, whether or not that's right or fair, I'll leave that up to you, but it's where we're at right now.
Yeah, that's it. So one thing I see all the time coming across social media is that people are soliciting private investors and they don't disclose that they need accredited investors. Please tell us, audience, why that's potentially illegal. But first, before we even tell, why marketing like that potentially is illegal, what is an accredited investor?
Yep. So an accredited investor is basically somebody who meets a certain wealth threshold. Okay. Mm-hmm. For individuals, it can either be $1 million net worth or exclusive of primary residence, or $200,000 a year income. And then there's different for married. It's slightly higher if you're doing it as a couple. But basically, you have to meet certain wealth thresholds. If you meet those thresholds, you're an accredited investor. Now, there's a lot of wealthy people I know, or people who I'd consider wealthy, who don't necessarily meet that threshold for one reason or another. 200,000 of net income is a lot. You know what I mean? Especially after deductions, all that fun stuff. $1 million of net worth, especially if you're a real estate investor, you're leveraging all that stuff. You may not have that either, but you have to meet one of those criteria to be a accredited investor. Why is being an accredited investor important? Well, if you're an accredited investor, the deals Mike and I are talking about, syndication deals, potentially we can advertise to accredited investors and say, accredited investors, bring it on, come invest in our project, okay, publicly, whether we know you or not. If you're not an accredited investor, we have to have known you ahead of time. The SEC calls it a substantial pre-existing relationship, for whatever that's worth. And you have to have that substantial pre-existing relationship, or you're not allowed to be part of the deal, right? So if you're an accredited investor, you kind of have this gold, standard on you, where you can, be advertised to and seek out all these deals. Getting back to Mike's original point, when people are out there on Facebook saying, hey, investors, bring it on, you need to specify it's for accredited only. You need to verify up front that these folks are accredited before you give them a bunch of details about the deal. Third, you don't want to make too many statements about the deal if you're just advertising, or if you don't plan to go to just accredited investors. Okay. So that's kind of a nutshell why you want to do accredited investors. There's two types of, there's a number of ways the SEC allows you to raise money. They're called exemptions, right? And to the rule that generally you're not allowed to act as a publicly traded company unless you go through all those hoops. The two big ones allow you to raise an unlimited amount of money, but one allows you to have non-accredited investors in it, and one allows you only to have accredited investors in it. The difference is the one with non-accredited investors, you cannot publicly advertise the deal, okay? And the one with accredited investors only, you can. So that's why it's very important that you have all those ducks in a row. I always tell this story. I don't know how much you've had Nate on the podcast, but I always tell a little joke, I guess. Sometimes I get a phone call that says, hey, buddy, I got a new deal. Here are the terms. And, he expects me to put something together in 3 hours, a mortgage and promissory note, a new purchase contract, that sort of thing. And you can normally do that. That's okay. When you're talking a syndication, though, it's an upfront thing. Before you start, when you've identified a deal, that's when you need to start getting your syndication stuff together.
Yeah. So with a credit investor, one needs to file a Reg D 506C in order to publicly solicit for private investors. But what happens if a non-accredited investor, let's say someone posts something online and they didn't say only accredited investors, right? What happens? Right. Is that allowed?
So if you don't say only accredited investors, if you're still only doing the accredited investor deal, it's still a problem with the SEC, which is what some people don't know about. So let's say I'm running the deal, the 506C, where I can only take accredited, but I don't specifically say, hey, we're only looking for accredited investors. That's still potentially one of these violations that we're talking about previously that can run you into trouble with the SEC. So if you're making a Facebook post,
right,
online post, Instagram, Twitter, whatever you kids are using these days, you have to make sure that you're saying accredited investors only, and you have to have already decided that ahead of time and understand what those implications mean for your fundraising. That if there are folks there who have money who you want involved in the deal who aren't accredited, they can't. And I always get this question from every new client that comes through. What if I'm in an LLC with somebody who is accredited? Nope. What if we put together enough money and form our own LLC that has X amount of money? Nope. If you're not an accredited investor, there's no way to squeeze you in to the 506C offer. Okay.
Great.
But we can do deals where we have a combination of accredited and non-accredited.
It's a 506B.
Yeah, that's true.
I like to say 506B and B for both. Right. So people are like, well, 506C, 506B, they get them, can't remember. 506B means both accredited, non-accredited. 506C mean you can't have non-accredited. Okay?
That's a good way to put it. That's a good way to put it.
But tell us about when you do a 506B, which is for both, which is accredited and non-accredited. What's the difference? Is there a certain number of people we can have, a certain number we can't? Where does it?
So both types of deals, you can have unlimited number of accredited investors. You can raise an unlimited amount of money. That's good. You can only have in the 506B, however, you can have non-accredited investors. You can only have up to 35 total. Okay. 35. Now, I'll be honest with you.
We haven't really. Is that a lucky number, or does something happen at that age or something?
Somebody who knows? It's just the number somebody pulled out of nowhere, however many years ago, and it's just stuck. I don't know what the rationale is. If I'm between 10 or 35 or 100, why does it make a difference how many non-accredited investors I have, since I have to have the substantial pre-existing relationship with them anyways? Absolutely. So that 506B deal, you have to have the pre-existing relationship with everyone in the deal too. That's the big difference, the second big difference between that and the 506C. So, and you have to do the paperwork to everyone.
Yeah.
Good. Right. Hey, well, thanks, John, so much for providing all this information to our audience. I know you will talk about this more in detail at our Bird 360 conference, which is
excited.
September 13th through the 15th. You will talk about PPM, what it is, why they need one, how they can get one. What else are you going to talk about there? And why should they attend, man?
Man, it's, I think with the changes in the market, syndication deals are going to be even more popular because as banks tighten up to some degree, we lived in an era of real free bank money. Bank would fund you buying, bank would fund the rehab, so on and so forth. My guess is that's going to clamp down a little. So you're going to have to find people to borrow money from, and you're going to have to make sure you're, dotting your I's, crossing your T's on those syndication matters. I'm going to talk about distribution structures. Okay, so I get questions a lot from people.
I like that,
man. When they talk about, hey, I'm bringing in investors. How should I give money to them? How much do they own? How does that change? I'm going to talk about waterfalls, capital events, all those sorts of fun things, because that's a question that I get a lot that I think a lot of people aren't prepared for when they first look at a syndication deal. We're going to talk about the PPM, all the elements of the PPM, what you need to have together, in order to get that started, your timing, all that kind of fun stuff. So, and the general structure of the syndication deal. Who owns what, who controls what, how do you sort of maintain ownership and control while selling 30 or 50 or 70% of your company.
Yeah. Man, that's pretty impressive, man. I'm so glad that you put that together because I don't want to do that shit. That's mind-boggling, man, how they're putting on. I'm so not that guy, but I know what that paper needs to say. Hey, man, let's open it up now for questions from our audience about syndication, about our topic, how to find off-market deals, or how to raise capital. So any of you guys on Instagram, YouTube, wherever you at, if you're at your baby mama or daddy house, go ahead and ask your question. This is Uncle Mike, and I'm going to answer all your questions right here. And I got my attorney here, John Glankler. So we'll help you out, man. We won't get you tied up. So what we got here? Somebody's in the Q&A.
So Christine asked, what website can I go so I can become an accredited investor? Well, you are already an accredited investor, Christine. With the properties you have, you already exceed the 1 million net worth.
Yeah, it's basically when you fill out that document, they're going to ask you, and you're basically a subscription agreement, and we also call it something else.
And there's an accreditation form.
Yeah, accreditation form. You fill out accreditation form, and then bam. Now, so when you first start, some people just fill it out and they accept it. But when you're ready to go to the next phase and you're actually about to invest, they typically may get a third party, which we've done. You get a third party to verify your accreditation or your
right. Yeah.
Right. And it's a simple, they pull your credit or they look at your taxes or they get a letter from your accountant or your banking industry.
Yeah. And Christine, just in case you don't know this, because you're a member of the mastermind, you have access to the syndication paperwork. That basically what Mike uses. So you kind of have like that template. So you don't have to spend, $20,000. You can just show your attorney license in your state or the state where you're investing in, like, hey, here's a template, here's you want to do, and you want the attorney to modify it based on your state and based on the deal. So you kind of save money that way. So.
Yep. Anonymous attendee, do you see one method more effective than the other? Wholesalers, mailers, cold calling, or they're about equal? It's really about what works for you. I've had a lot of success in wholesalers, right? I'm a relationship guy. And so that was my strength. Talking to them believing that I can close, and me executing was everything. And because I treated them so right, they're always sending me deals. I was not so great in mailers, but I knew numerous people got tons of returns off of mailers. Stash.
We got several properties for $1 down.
Yeah.
With mailers.
My guy Stash, who's a real estate commercial broker, that was all he did. Well, I know he sent mailers, but he cold called like crazy, probably calling 50 to 100 people a day to see if they want to sell real estate property. And now he's one of the biggest brokers around in the city. So cold calling works. It's really all about what you feel comfortable with. If that works for you, hey, let it float your boat, man. Don't change the engine in that boat, brother, because you gliding right across that water just fine. All right. John Young, hello. We have 60,000 and we've done 2 flips. We're looking at a property that the ARV is about 235, 244. Okay, I see you. I see you trying to get the spread. The buyer's asking 150 but paid 105. Okay. The property has a foundation crack on one side, blah, blah, blah. We think the property is worth, but not 150. We use hard money to fund. How will the numbers look out to get this deal? Well, I'm still missing a couple of things so I can't really answer that question.
How much the rehab?
Yeah, you need to know like what's the rehab cost, and then what it costs. But here, let's do some basic numbers.
And before you go to the numbers,
yeah.
Right? So the foundation crack on one side, well, it depends on the crack too, right? If the crack goes vertical, meaning from up to down, that's not a big issue. If the crack is horizontal, meaning it goes from left to right, then that's a big issue. That can be like what, 20,000, 30,000.
It may
depending on
have
the
to
size of
pull the
house.
wall out, the
Yeah.
foundation
Mhm.
slipping, who knows. When it's vertical, man, you can inject that crack and just
Exactly.
cover it back
Yeah.
up. You can
That's-
put
that's-
this epoxy strictly for foundations. I've done that on numerous deals, and the property is fine. Literally, you can look outside.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
but we feel, hey, put some epoxy on it and holds the building right there together, like super glue. I don't know if it really holds.
Yeah, but we
And
need
we
more
always,
information.
hey, no matter what we was doing, we was like, just slap some mud on it. But the furnace is not working. Slap some mud on it. Didn't just yeah, slap some mud on and paint it. No, so John, we would need, you know, what the renovation costs are. How long do you think it would cost to fix? Why do you think the price is $235, et cetera? All right. Kevin Tan. Hello, I was traveling and had flight delays in the morning. And just with a record link, Kevin.
We'll upload it on YouTube.
That really wasn't a question, okay? But we answered it for you, brother. All right. Anonymous Attenemy, why should you put
When?
together?
When should you put together?
Okay.
the
When
PPM?
should you put together the PPM and bring the syndication attorney? When you are under contract or before? John,
Yeah.
you want to answer that one?
Yeah. So I'll tell you, my most successful ones have been when folks have reached out ahead of time before contracts are signed, said, hey, I'm looking at a deal. Can we talk a little bit about the process, maybe get an engagement letter together if I end up signing this deal and, you know, want to move forward? Here's why. This paperwork takes a while to put together, okay? And it takes a lot of work on both of our parts. I need a lot of information from you. You know, then it takes time for my team to put it together. Then we go back for reviews, you know, there's back and forth. 2 weeks is really the quickest that it could possibly, you know, be done.
Yeah.
And
I think it's really 3.
it's
You could
right.
be
Yeah,
done.
I'm
You
saying
could
if
be
you
done
put a
in
gun
2
to my head, it's 2. I always tell people 3. And in real estate deals, which is all I do, that presents a complication. Why? Because people are, you're under contract. You got a due diligence period. You got contingencies you got to meet. You got a lot of money down if you're buying a big property. So you need to move quick, and you need to find, hey, if there's going to be a problem, I'm not going to have enough investors. I got to back out of this deal and get my $100,000 deposit back, you know, or something along those lines. So, you know, folks who have gotten a hold of me now, right, when they're looking at deals, when they're thinking about deals, so they understand the process. And then when they get a contract maybe signed or they're negotiating contract, call me and say, hey, looks like we're going under with this deal. Let's talk about getting started, you know, in earnest on this deal. That's always what works best, I would say. So that's my long-winded answer.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna roll out with that. You know me, I'm waiting till the last minute because I ain't trying to spend no money, man. You know, because you know, like, I mean, John, how many deals have we done that never finished, or we didn't move through it? Not necessarily finished, we just didn't go through with it, and we started that PPM. You know, so
there were multiple hotels before that first one that actually went before the Worthington.
So first of all, I know I make it look easy.
Yeah.
This shit was hard. I ain't gonna lie. But because of my team, it's easy. I want to be clear. Doing a hotel deal on your own, man, you might be brain dead when it's all over. It could be done. But yeah. But yeah, no, we've done numerous deals. So one reason I'm still got to control the cost. I'm the sponsor. I'm the promoter. You know, I'm the developer, right? So I try to bring John in right after my due diligence period. And I'm like, you know what? I'm all in. And that's normally, now, I don't get me wrong, I let him know what's going on. But it's normally around that 45th day, I get him involved, 30 to 45 days into the deal, and we know we committed. But fortunately, most of the time, it's really not like that. Actually, John knows about the deal longer before then, because
Right.
typically, even though you're supposed to have 30, 45 days due diligence, these deals take months to close.
Yeah.
Right. Like they were taking 8 months.
8 months
to close.
Yep.
So John didn't even even though I told him when we were engaged, he really still didn't really get engaged until like month 4. But we had communication of what's going on. It was never, hey, John, I got to raise this money tomorrow, man. I need to put the 2 p.m. together, brother. And here's the
exactly. Right.
Here's a gun.
So right. So it's
a Nerf gun, but it is a gun.
And that's an interesting, you're making a good point there. I'm talking about an actual contract in place. You're moving ahead. You're locked in. You've put earnest money down. Not necessarily, hey, I saw a deal, I got introduced to a deal, and now I'm talking to some potential investors who I already know and saying, gee, this deal's $5 million. I might need to raise 2. Are there people out there for that sort of thing? So, and Mike's already talked to me ahead of time, right? So he knows what to say and not say to investors about those deals, and that kind of stuff. So that's all stuff you want to bear in mind. But yeah.
All right. Well, we need to move faster. We have more questions.
So. Let me answer Raj's question, then we'll go on to the other questions. Raj Patel asks, rank what a lender looks at before giving you money in order of importance: owner's experience, profitability, cash on hand, location, bank on risk assessment of industry. Well, I will go with bank's own risk assessment of industry, right? Because
that's the first one.
Because I could tell you, if they're not in that line, they ain't doing it.
Yeah,
like my bank loves me. If I come up there with another hotel, they may slap the shit out of me.
Or you bring a office space.
Yeah, they're like, nah.
Space.
Well, or student housing.
Now,
my bank will probably still do student housing, but there's a lot of banks that don't want to do student housing right now. It's like they look at student housing as the plague. Now they're looking at you, oh, you want to do a hotel? They kind of look at you like a genius now. But it's still a challenge. So then they're going to look at the profitability of the deal, right? More about the debt coverage ratio.
DSCR.
Does the DSCR meet the standard? And that's typically a 1.2, 1.25.
Right.
And some may be 1.2. Some may even be 1.3, but typically it's about a 1.25. So profitability, so bank own risk assessment, profitability or stability of the deal. Then they start looking at the owner's experience and credit and financials.
Net worth.
Yeah, your net worth. So that kind of falls all together, right? Location. Now, technically, they're not supposed to look at location because that's steering, but they do look at that. But the bank-owned risk, look, it's just basically their market. Some banks just don't do hotels. Some banks just don't do student housing. So you got to find the right bank. Then once they find the right bank, when you're doing the larger deals, they looking at your experience and your PFS, personal financial statement. And look, here's the great thing is, if you don't have the net worth, you can bring that partner into your deal. When we did our first hotel, we didn't have the net worth. So we ended up getting a partner, Dr. Sapp, God bless him, he passed away, but he signed for the debt. He brought the net worth for us to do the deal. Because of his one deal, I'm not gonna say because that one deal, but his one deal after that allowed us to sign debt for the following 3 to 4 other deals. Now, you remember, let me say this one more time. Me and Nate could not sign for a $10 million loan.
In the past.
Could not. But after we did that first deal with that hotel, I ended up signing on for $30 million worth of properties of debt. 30 million, just because I couldn't sign the first one. So leveraging up and joint venturing can be everything for you. hopefully you can do it on your own. But if not, partner up. What other question we got here? Win?
So let's ask the question that John Glankler can also ask.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Can also answer.
What's that noise anyway?
Yeah, I know.
You cleared it up before. Yeah, something that goes down. I don't know.
Anyway,
what you got?
This is an interesting question from Zach Najak. If you had to start over today and had 300,000 cash in this market, what would you do?
If I had 300,000 now and I could do it, I will start all over. What would I do? I'll still go get me a multi-unit.
Yeah.
The only way I would do a hotel, well, see, with 300, man, I could do my own. I would wait for the right deals. I would like to get a multi-unit and I would fix it up and flip it. Or actually, depending on how good the deal is, this is what I really do. I'll take the 300, close my deal, which is about a $600,000, $700,000 deal, right? Apartment deal. Then I would go out and raise capital to replace my 300. I'll split the ownership 50-50, 70-30, whatever way. Some favor me. I'll take a markup. So even though, let's say the 300,000 I did the deal, I'm gonna sell my interest for 400 grand or a portion of my interest for 400 grand, right? And I still own 50% of the deal or 70%, right?
Then
now I got my 300
or 400.
I got 400 and I could go do it again.
Yep, there you go. Man, you know that one secret?
What's that?
I mean, the one that you shared, that's a secret that it's like mind-blowing, you know. You can literally do a lot of deals.
I mean, and some people like
limited amount of money.
They're like, whoa, I can't refinance. Like, dude, you ain't got to. Go raise some money.
Yep. So, all right, guys, what are your questions? Well, I kind of answered this question already from Mike Dawson. Like, if you have a deal where your DSCR is 1.5, can you find a bank that will finance 100%?
Oh, hell yeah.
Really?
If your DCR is 1.5, I'm assuming the property has a 1.5 debt coverage ratio. Well, you only need to make 1.0. Can you find banks to do 100% finance? Oh, maybe that's probably a private lender or a mezz finance,
not a local bank.
Well, or it depends on how you structured it. Yes and no. That's a yes and no. So if you bought it earlier, right, you played cash or you got debt, right, and there's no early penalty fees, you can go buy that property. And then if the debt coverage, let's say you bought it and the debt coverage wasn't even 1.2, but now you got it to 1.5. If they only looking for a 1.2 debt coverage ratio, then you can actually pay, get more money because your property can afford more. That makes sense?
Yeah, so you gotta hold it, close on it, and then refinance it at 1.5 to get all of your money back. That's
so you may, I don't know if that'll equal out to 100%, but you're already making almost 30% more.
Yeah. So here's another question that is related to, I think John can answer this.
Okay.
Is it allowable to make posts on social media for people interested in being investors, as long as you don't have a specific deal you're advertising, with the idea of creating a list so that you can reach out to them when you do have a deal?
Read that for him one more time.
Okay. Is it allowable to make posts asking people interested in being investors, as long as you don't have a specific deal you're advertising? And the idea is you put the post out to get investors, so you build a list, so you reach out to them when you do have a deal. What do you think?
Yep. So, short answer is yes, that's fine. As a lawyer, I'd probably come in and nitpick and word it a little more artfully. I wouldn't, accredited investors are fine, whether you've got a deal or not. Looking for accredited, bring it on.
Right.
If you're talking about non-accredited, though, which is potentially a much larger pool, what's important is you get that substantial pre-existing relationship. You might want to say, looking to do deals, interested in owning part of real estate, that sort of thing, and get introduced to people that way. And then, do what Mike does here, meet people. Doesn't have to be in person. You don't have to know all their kids' names or, what their favorite flavor of ice cream is or anything like that. You just have to have a substantial pre-existing relationship. And that question is getting to that for a 506B deal. So it's a good idea before you have a deal in place to get to know as many people as possible. So when a deal does come up, you can approach them with this deal, or this deal that you've put together. So that is a very good question.
Yeah. So what we do for Mike, like we have educational posts, right? So here's how you do a deal with no money down. Here's the PRRSU deal, which is you sell and upgrade the deal and so on. So, and you don't even have to say, hey, I need investors, because when you put out this content, people will be like, oh man, you've done that deal. Let me know if you have another deal coming that is like that, and I'll likely invest, So, right, that's a safe way to do it. Like you put out the good content without even asking for investors, but these investors will come naturally to you. Is that right, John? Is that a better approach?
Yes, exactly right. And that's the practical experience that I think most of my clients talk about. As they've put deals together, they've gone real well. People are wanting to get into the deal. And so the time, again, to get to know, especially your non-accredited investors, is before you have the deal in place. So, right, that's, those educational posts, just meeting as many people as possible, whether it's in your local area, whether it's physically online, however, that's all okay. And it's basically, the SEC likes to keep things vague, but the gist of it is that you have a substantial pre-existing relationship that's sufficient for you to determine, hey, is this person capable of investing in an apartment deal or a hotel deal or, whatever? Do they have enough knowledge and experience for that to make sense for them?
All right. Hey, John, one quick one, then we got to get over here to the Millionaire Mindset. Mr. Glanker, I'm just getting started and building my team, looking for attorney. I'm in the Dayton area. However, my CPA is in Cincinnati. Saw you work with Joe Lucas. Do you recommend him because he's in my area, or should I schedule an appointment with your office? I'll answer that. Call John Glankler. Damn Joe Lucas. We don't give a damn about Joe Lucas, man. Who on this damn podcast? The hell wrong with you, Nicole?
Major.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Joe's
a friend of mine, but he got involved in real estate investing himself, single families, and to do that, he's kind of kept his real estate practice or his private practice simple. He wants in and out matters. Does that make sense? He doesn't want to get into the weeds. So, but yeah, Joe's a good guy. I talk to him every week. But when you're talking about all these sorts of deals, I have a number of clients up in Dayton right now, apartment deals, other matters. So yeah, no big deal.
Hey, well, look, man, thanks so much. Everybody give John Glankler a round of applause, please.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Hey,
it's always good to be on.
All right, brother, man. See you soon, man. See
all
you
right,
at the
thanks, guys.
Man, September 13th through the 15th.
I'm excited. Come see me.
All right, brother.
Hey,
man, it's time for the Millionaire Mindset, man. You ready for that drum roll, man?
I guess we need a drum roll or something. Different sound, yeah.
You probably don't need a drum roll. Drum roll's probably not it. I don't know what it is.
Major key.
Major key.
There you go.
Millionaire Mindset.
Okay, go.
Oh, Jesus, man.
One just wants to end it. Okay, go ahead, Mike.
Yeah. Hey, so look, man, we're gonna get straight into it, man. What you do in life, your job, it doesn't define you. It's not who you are. Just because you do this job now, it's not who you are. It's not who you will become. What you become is what you have inside of you that you bring into reality. Yeah, I was listening to TD Jakes the other day, and he talked about how he was riding with his mother, and he'd be in the vehicle, and he would say, "Mama, right now they say I'm your son, and I'm going to listen to you speak. But soon they will say, you're my mother, and you coming to listen to TD Jakes." TD Jakes was like, I'm a preacher, but that's not who I am. If he only stayed as a minister, he would not go on to do $500, $1 million movies in the box office. He wouldn't go on to do multiple developments to create numerous smart communities. He would not go on to meet numerous people throughout this world and feed hungry, physically and mentally people, if he just did what they gave him the title to be. So I encourage you, man, lift those titles and go after what it is that you desire, man, and be consistent with it. It's not, your job doesn't define you. Allow your job to feed your dream. Allow the job to get you to the guide you to your destination. But what's inside of you is what lifts you to a whole nother level. And look, man, some of you don't have the mindset still. You're still saying, I can't. You're still saying, I can't see the vision. Man, fake it till you make it. Fake it till you make it. I know people always tell, well, I didn't have no idea what the hell that meant. Fake it till you make it. Man, regardless of what you're doing, just get in the arena and start doing it. Start applying yourself. Start getting the wisdom and understanding. And because you're here, you're getting the wisdom and understanding. Now I want you to start taking some action. Submit a LOI. You're like, but Mike, I don't know what I'm doing. Well, get with somebody that's submitting an LOI. Join the mastermind class. Join our mastermind class. Partner with somebody. Be around different people. Change your network. I'm lightweight guilty of it, but not. I've moved out of my surroundings, physically and mentally. Like my best friends, man, I still love them to death, but I don't hang with them anymore. They don't do real estate. They're not moving to multi-million-dollar statuses. Now, that doesn't make them any less of a person. That doesn't make it that I don't like them. I don't want to be around them, but that's what I needed to get to the next level. Everybody's not going along for the ride. You're going to have to change your mindset. And because I changed my mindset, I began to gravitate to different people that was doing what I wanted to do. And from that, I learned how to get into larger deals. And I learned what was possible. If I kept hanging around one of my best friends that all he did was smoke weed, which he still does, and that's okay. I still drink my Heinekens. Actually, my kids said I eat Heinekens. All right. But I guess that means I'm an alcoholic. And they was like, what is it? On Father's Day, they said, what is your favorite? And he's like, my dad eats Heinekens. I said, damn.
We should get Heineken as sponsor.
Yeah, they should sponsor the show. But my point is, if I would have hung with my buddy that just smokes weed, but now he wasn't doing anything but smoking weed and working, right? But I got away from him and started hanging with people that were building houses, that were developing apartment buildings, that were flipping homes, that were doing large lending on projects, that were raising millions of dollars. I learned from them and saw that it was possible. What is it that I'm gonna see with my brother that's smoking weed? But because I went the other route, he became motivated and saw there were other entrepreneurial ways to get out in the business. Guess what? He called me and started his own trucking company. Because he saw me getting out there and he found a way for him to elevate his game and to support his family, and not just from week to week, but more for generational. Started with one and moving on to a second truck. So, but look, I'm not telling you to limit yourself, but expand your horizon. wealthy people don't think in a job to pay for their time. Wealthy people want freedom. So they want to create things that generate wealth that don't take away from their time. They trade instead of trading their time for money, they trade their time for ownership and equity. And as long as you continue to trade your time for equity, as long as you betting on yourself, that's when you'll grow. That's when you'll begin. You'll surpass. Listen, because I can tell you, I remember just like yesterday, I bought all. I didn't buy. I didn't have anything. I got evicted out of my own home. I was homeless. I was couch surfing. I was sick. I got mold. So many things happened. I got arrested. I lost my car. My cars got totaled. Look, can you imagine? I got arrested. My car got totaled. I was sick. I was homeless. Man, that was past 4 strikes. 3 strikes and you're out. I was at 4, maybe 5. There's many other things I didn't even tell you. Because I don't want to sound like an old country song. But the point is, man, you just don't quit. You will never win if you quit. So take action. And that job doesn't define you. But you can obtain your freedom with your wealth. That's my time, man. God bless you. God keep you. May God bless you beyond your belief, but not your capacity. And remember, you're one big deal away. Hey, man, who are we giving this shirt away to, man? Kick that music on, man.
All right. Let's choose one of you to get a t-shirt.
We got a lot of people out here today, man.
Yeah.
Kira, Kristen, Alyssa, Amber, Amy Brown.
Right.
I'm looking for my Venmo, Amy. Oh, let window go. Okay, I'll be quiet.
Okay. All right. So
Thomas Moses like me, Nicole, me.
All right. So we will have Julia Kotova as the winner of the shirt.
Julia Kotova. You're our winner. You get to free from Broke to Millions live. Hey, man. I thank y'all, man. Tell your friend, tell your mama, tell your baby cousins. Thanks for joining from Broke to Millions. Love to see you every week here where we're showing you real estate solutions. But hey, man, I just want to give shouts out to Amber, Amy. If you scroll them up, we'll knock them down, brother. Patrice, Brett, Candace, Chris Brown. Are you singing for me? Chris Harris, Christina, Dan Douglas, Dwayne, Elijah, Kostova, my winner, Hanta, Hatesh, my man be on every week, Jay Falls, Julia, our winner, Kevin, Lawrence, Lee, Melvin, Mike Dotson, Mitchell, Morley, Burgess, do they call you Bergie for short? Nectar, Nicole, Paralee, did I say that right? Rachel, Raj, Raymond, Ryan, Sam, Shalon, Teresa, Thomas, and Zachary, and Zach. Hey, man, thanks so much for joining us. Me and my man Win and Walt and my man Chris in the studio today. I don't know if it's a studio now. It used to be our office.
It's a office with a big table and became a studio.
Hey, so thanks so much. And I see it. Well, yeah, I'll be here next week. It's my vacation. But for you guys, I'll be here. All right?
See you guys.
Well, I ain't going to be here, but I don't know. I may be here. I don't know. I'm taking off next week, though.
All right, next week. Don't miss it.
But,
How to buy properties with no money down. I know a lot of you don't have any money.
all right, man.
But it should not stop you from getting properties. All right? So
All right.
see you guys next week.
All right, peace. Later.